going to get him out in the center where everybody can see him real good. Now you're going to notice a little bit of a personality change come from our gator when he gets near him. You may even hear the gator start to hiss a little bit. That hissing sound that they make is air being pushed through his nose. And that's one of the few sounds an alligator actually creates. It's kind of a warning. He's trying to tell you to stay back. And he's starting that up right now. He doesn't want you to get so close. Hey, incidentally, folks, if you ever move down to Florida and you buy yourself a little lakefront piece of property, you know, and you wake up in the morning, you look outside, you got a big gator in your backyard and you just don't want him in your backyard, here's what you do to get rid of him. Show him, Dave. Folks, what you want? No, that is so illegal. You can't shoot him, you get in big trouble, right? If you got that gator in your backyard, you just don't want him out there, what you want to do is you want to sneak up behind the alligator real quiet, right? And when you get close to him, you want to reach down and you want to grab the alligator by the tail. And just like that. And once you got him by the tail, folks, you just drag that gator to your neighbor's house. You drop him off over there. So cool. I'm just joking. No! This alligators are very agile. If you grab him by the tail, he can turn around, he can bite you in the hand, or maybe even as high up as your elbow. Very quick, very agile. Allowing a side-to-side motion. Alligator's going to try to show you. Watch it. That's going to be his fastest move now. And that's how he catches all of his food. See, he doesn't run after anything. He'll sneak up to whatever it is he wants to eat. And when he gets close to it, he'll strike at it like that from the side. That side-to-side strike is normally fast enough to let that gator catch fish. So they're real fast from the side. But you know something? We've all been misled as to how fast they run. They don't run as fast as you may have been told. That's right. In fact, last week, when it was hot outside, we clocked our gator. He was only running 13 miles an hour. And then we clocked Dave. He was running 14 miles an hour. In the water, though, it's a different story, right? We can't outswim. In the water, these animals can reach speeds of up to 25 miles an hour. They use that big powerful tail they have, and that pushes them through the water at that high rate of speed. Speaking of speed, Dave's going to show you how the jaws work. To do this, he's going to get real close to the alligator's mouth. Now when he does, the gator will automatically open his mouth up at him in self-defense. Dave can take the pole that he's got. Hey. He can take the pole that he's got. Watch closely. He can pass it right inside the gator's mouth and nothing happens. That's because the gator can't see the pole. If you notice where his eyes are, they're on top of his head. He didn't even know the pole was in his mouth. But if even a drop of water were to fall off that pole and touch the inside of the gator's jaws, we'll get a different reaction. To give you an idea of what I'm talking about, watch closely. Because Dave is now going to stick his hand inside that gator's mouth. Hey, how about it, everybody? You want to see Dave stick his hand in the gator's mouth? I know what the problem is. Yesterday, Dave did that, right? He stuck his hand in there, and he almost got bit. And when it was all said and done, nobody clapped. So I'll tell you what. I have a feeling today, David, if you do this, that this audience is going to give you a real big round of applause. Right, everybody? Okay. Not only is Dave going to stick his hand inside the gator's mouth, but in order to demonstrate how the jaws work, he's going to go one step further for you. He's going to reach his hand in there, and with his bare fingers, he's going to try to touch the inside of the alligator's mouth. Then he's got to get his hand out before those jaws can crush. Please remain as quiet as possible. The alligator has to hold really still. Take your time. Too bright, isn't he? Hey folks, from here Dave's going to try to catch the gator for you. Now he's got a couple of ways he can do this. One way is he could go through the front of the gator and grab a hold of him by his mouth, try to hang on to the alligator's jaws while he thrashes around, or he rolls over and tries to bite him. Another way would be to sneak up behind the gator, hop on his back, wrap him around the neck. Either way way, just as dangerous, and he uses whatever technique that he's comfortable with, or in any case, whatever that gator lets him do. He'll try to keep him out in the center where everybody can see, and the gator knows he's vulnerable back on the backside, so he doesn't want Dave behind him. He always wants him facing him in the front, but also Dave's working against not slipping in there. And there's the backside. How about it, folks? Give him a nice big round of applause. That's the easy part. 8-foot round, 200-pound alligator. Give him some encouragement, everybody. Let him hear you. And give us a piece up. And how about it, folks? Give him a nice big round of applause. That's all good. Hey folks, hey, the next time you guys go down to Florida and you see an alligator cross
you ever play pork quad dog?
What?
Pork quad dog?
How about another nice hand for Dave? Huh? Good job. As soon as he gets a hold of him here and gets him settled down, we can show you just a little bit more about our gator. If you can see this well, where Dave's going to point out, right in the front, these two little openings there on the top of his snout, that is his nose, and that's where he gets his air from. Now, he is an air breather, just like you and I, which means when he's underwater, just like you and I, he's holding his breath. The difference is he can stay underwater and he can hold his breath for several hours at a time. But sooner or later, he's got to come up for fresh air. The eyes of the gator sit high on top of his head. Now this helps the animal sneak up to his prey, while the rest of the body remains completely underwater unseen. You hardly even see the alligator coming at you. All you see is his little eyeball sticking up right on top of his head, right? If in danger though, watch this. The eyes will actually sink right down into the skull for their protection. After the danger passes, they pop back up into place, and the gator will go about his business. Right behind me.
Poor alligator.
Right behind the office, there's a very small brain. And the gator's got one just like it. A hard blow in the head will actually kill the alligator. On the side of the brain is his ears. They're located underneath his little flap of skin. You lift the skin up, you look right down inside of his ear, and he's got excellent hearing. In fact, they use their hearing when they hunt. The alligator cruises the river all night long, and he listens for anything that gets close to the water. Raccoons, possums, armadillos. If it's too close, it could fall prey to his attack. In the daytime, though, we usually find them sunning on the side of a river somewhere. And if you see one eating in the daytime, you usually find them eating water birds or maybe even turtles. Folks, with over 2,000 pounds of pressure per square inch enclosed in his mouth. You all heard it earlier. He's got no problem cracking turtle shells. And to give you an idea of what the jaws look like, on the inside, Dave's going to get him to open his mouth up for you. Now, if he succeeds, you're going to get a rare look at the inside of an alligator's jaws. We'd like for you to look all the way into the back of his throat. You're going to notice that way in the back that there's no apparent throat opening. Only a small half-moon shaped check valve way in the back. Everybody see that? That allows the gator to bite when he's underwater without drowning. You also see his teeth. 80 teeth in his mouth. 40 on the top, 40 on the bottom. They're sharp, they're pointed, they're not blunt. Blunt teeth are for chewing, and they don't chew their food. Everything an alligator eats, he swallows completely whole. If he gets something too big to swallow, he'll bite it, he'll start thrashing around, or he rolls over and over and over until he rips a piece off small enough to swallow whole. How about a nice big round of applause for Dave?